Welcome back to Masterpiece Tarot. We're going to jump right into a reading. This is a reading I did 2 or 3 days ago, and it didn't record, but I thought it was such a wonderful reading that I saved the cards, and I'm going to go ahead and record it now. And so this is a brand new spread. I just sort of randomly, in a moment of inspiration, decided to do a you and them reading, and we're going to look at a challenge, a barrier, an obstacle, as well as an opportunity. All right, so the you space. You are the Hierophant. You are somebody who's focused on tradition and structure, and there's also a sense of guidance with the Hierophant. The Hierophant is wise. And then the clarifying cards are the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. And what I notice about these clarifying cards is they're all facing away from the Hierophant. And so there is a sense of movement away from this energy. But it's a self-assured energy. The Nine of Pentacles represents somebody who's alone. And the bird on that card, it's almost as if she's kind of consulting with herself, some kind of higher version of herself, or an animal guide. We have 2 more birds here. And so there's a real sense of movement and even optimism. And yeah, the King of Pentacles kind of backs that energy up. There's just a sense of competence and yeah. And then they are represented by the Death card. And so this person that may be on your mind, or this other person, is going through an ending, change, transformation, and, looking towards new beginnings. Again, we got the Hierophant as a clarifier, the Knight of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. So the Hierophant and the Knight of Wands are both looking at the Death card, at them. And, there's this sense that I get here with this person moving passionately towards this ending and new beginning. It's almost as if they are leaving a version of themselves that is dying. It could be the ego, it could be a way of life, but it feels like a big life transformation. And so the common energy between these two, you and them, is the Hierophant. And so there is this sense that both of you are thinking about tradition, thinking about beliefs and values. But on your side, it's like your foundation is already there, it's solid, and you are ready to move ahead. Whereas this individual that you're thinking about is maybe a little bit behind. They're recognizing the part of them that has been sort of conditioned by traditional values and beliefs is considering what they want to let go of, right? And they're doing it with zest and zeal, right? They're like, okay, let's get going. I'm ready to walk away from certain things. And so it's almost as if this person, they are just a step behind. It's like in a little while, after this person walks away from this ending, they're going to be exactly where you are. which is knowing exactly what your beliefs are, what traditions are important to you, and, you know, moving ahead. In the challenge position, we drew the Emperor. So again, it's like this authority, right? Kind of ties in with the Hierophant. You know, looking at authority, looking at structures, rules, and also looking at power. So this is the challenge position. So there's a sense that between the two of you, you're trying to negotiate these shared elements that you both have with these Hierophant cards. What are our differences when it comes to beliefs, values, traditions? Where's their overlap? And how are we going to share power, right? And how are we going to share power in a way that brings peace and happiness and optimism? How are we going to nurture this connection, right? As we negotiate this tricky situation, especially if there are differences. You know, just because there are two Hierophants, they don't necessarily represent the same set of values and beliefs, but that is something that is really up in this connection. But I think it's significant that these cards are here because there's a sense that there's a shared desire or recognition that these are the issues, that this issue about power, control, and needing to bring a certain set of values to the table is there. How are we going to do it? And then the opportunity, interestingly, is represented by the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be about deceit. It can be about, you know, being sneaky. It can be about greed. But when you think about what motivates somebody to act in that way, it comes from a place of selfishness. And selfishness isn't always a bad thing. It is important to consider ourselves. There's that fine balance between not considering ourselves at all and people-pleasing all the time. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you know, being completely selfish and egocentric. So the fact that this is showing up in the challenge, I think this speaks to the need to balance those two energies. But what I like about this reading, these clarifying cards, is that again, you know, with the Queen of Cups looking there, there's a sense that, you know, how do we bring love? How do we love ourselves, right, enough to negotiate this challenge? Yeah. And so that's exactly what the opportunity is. There's an opportunity to really love yourself and to honor yourself and to be true to where you are on your path, even if it's different, right? And again, the Six of Pentacles is bringing balance. Giving, receiving, and I think, you know, in conversation, in the way we interact with each other, you know, these are opportunities. There's an opportunity to really tune into how you're giving and receiving. Is it balanced? If it's not balanced, what do I need to do? And so the opportunity is recognizing where you're being selfish, recognizing where you're being dishonest, whether it be about your own values, your beliefs, your needs, your desires, your wounds, you know, the tough stuff you've been through. And so I felt like this reading was very cohesive. You are a little bit ahead of them. And I think it's really common to negotiate power dynamics, especially when there's like masculine, feminine energies. Who's going to play what role? How is that going to look? And those are all conversations that you can have. And the opportunity in those conversations is to do it in a balanced way. Right? Nobody actually is in charge. You are co-creating with another individual exactly what it is that you want to have. And so that's the reading on you and them. And bye for now.